Hello, this is the first demonstration on the mono printing that we're doing at the moment in class. This is the very first kind of method that you would probably learn to learn the process. It's quite an easy, quick and easy approach to drawing. Really, it can really help you to free up your drawing skills. So I'm going to demonstrate how we go about it. I'm using melamine whiteboard. This actually was, it came from a business that we used to run. So I'm using that as my printing plate. It's got a nice smooth surface to it. I'm also going to be using some block lino printing ink, which is a water-based ink. Again, very easy to use, quite cheap. It's water-based, so it is washable. Like all inks, it does tend to stain, so it's a good idea to protect your clothing from it. But we're going to be using that today. It's also quite non-toxic, low odour, so it's another good one to use, particularly when you're starting out with printing. I've got my brayer, my print roller here to roll out the ink. I've got some paper and I've got some implements to draw with. Okay, so let me start out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just put out a small amount of ink. You don't need a lot. And I'm going to start to roll it out on my plate. Okay. You have to work at this quite a bit because you're trying to sort of thin it out across the whole of the plate, get a nice even coverage. And this is where your hearing can be really useful. What you want to hear is just a gentle kind of hiss, and then I don't know if you can hear that, you know that the ink is getting there, the right consistency. Okay. Right, so that's I'm going to put my roller down the right side. It's got a little kind of support there, so you don't put the roller directly down on the bench. Make sure you always put it up the right way. Okay, so I'm going to place my paper. This is just ordinary cartridge paper. I'm going to place it down over the inked surface. I'm just going to secure it on the side here with a little bit of masking tape, so that I can periodically look at what I'm producing. Okay, what I've got here is a selection of leaves that I collected out on a walk. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these leaves as my inspiration for the print. Okay, so I'm not going to draw around that at all. I'm going to pop it off to the side, and I'm just going to draw as I normally would. I'm going to be using a pencil. The trick with this is it's a bit of a challenge actually, not to weight your hand down on the surface too heavily, and that will become obvious. So I'm going to just start to draw this leaf as I see it. I thought it would be quite nice to use leaves, obviously, because we're in the autumn season and there's lots of them about, changing colour and falling off the trees. So and they're everywhere. They're in all different shapes and sizes. So they're ideal really as reference material. So again, you know, I'm just going to, you know, represent it really. I'm not going to be too precious about it. And the nice thing about leaves, of course, is no two are ever the same. So you can get some really unique shapes going. This one's got a nice jagged edge. I'm not sure what leaf it's from. It's possibly an oak leaf. My husband would know. He's the expert on trees. Okay, so I'm going to bring that in and bring that in. Okay, so that's my leaf drawn out. So if I just peel this back now, I don't know if you can see on the film, it's created a print on the reverse of my paper. Okay, so that's the kind of first impression that I've taken. So just having a peek at it, I'm going to lay it back down. And I'm going to just kind of work in with my finger down onto the plate. Because I want that ink from the plate to transfer up onto my leaf drawing to give it some body and to increase the sort of painterly feel of this. This is why I like monoprinting, because it is said to be the most painterly. Let's have a look at that. Okay, so I've got a nice tone now to that. I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to lay it back down and I'm going to pick up a different implement here. It's good to point out this at this point, lots of people do monoprint with, you know, the blunt end of a pencil or a paintbrush. This is a skewer, I've got a twig. I personally, if I'm teaching this, I prefer people to start with a pen or a pencil because they can actually see what they're drawing. It's really kind of tricky if you're not used to drawing, if you're a novice to drawing, to kind of draw blind. So this is a good kind of forgiving way of doing that. But just to start off, I'm going to, with my pencil, I'm just going to represent these spines radiating out into each section of the leaf, like that. I'm going to, with this stub of my paintbrush, I'm going to continue with that, just pressing down. You can use anything really, anything that you think is going to give a good effect. So, you know, the other thing about this is it's very experimental. You know, there are no rules to it particularly. You know, the idea is that you have a bit of fun really and create. How are we doing? Right. Notice this video is getting quite long, so I'm going to finish up soon. So that's my first monoprint. If you can see that. So as you can see, it's picked up a bit of the ink from the background, you would always get a little bit of the ink transferring, but that's the beauty of this technique. You know, it lends a nice kind of textural, painterly feel to the drawing. And you can then, you know, build up, you can incorporate more items from different sources. Once it's dry, you can then hand colour it with coloured pencils or pastels. So it's quite a versatile way of image making. Okay, so that's the first demonstration. As ever, don't be afraid to ask questions. Just give us a shout, and yeah, I'll be back soon with the next one. Thank you.